Alright, hello. I'm Science Sheepy. I'm currently rank 70 player on ladder on the Pokemon Unite Autochess ladder. And today I'm going to do a tier list. If you're just here for the tier list, here you go. And if you want the explanation and have time to stick around, I'm going to go through all of the Pokemon one by one. Okay, so starting with all the one costs, we have Zoroark, and this is as of the patch on April 2nd. So Zoroark is just a weak character. Not much to say. You only use it for Dark Synergy and Tax Speed Synergy, basically. It's not that good on its own. I should mention that the assumption for this tier list is that all Pokemon are compared against others of the same cost, and they're all assumed to be 2-star with alts and their optimal builds, and they're not within any order within the tier. Okay, next is Charizard. Charizard at 1 cost is pretty weak, but at 2 cost, Charizard alt can be pretty decent, especially if you have Fire Synergy. So Charizard's okay. Crustle is weak. It's just one of the worst Pokemon in the game. Not a good tank at all. You have much better options to go for. Gardevoir is okay. It's good right now because there's a really strong Psychic meta. So Gardevoir is thriving in this current meta. Decidueye is one of the best one-cost mons you can possibly get. Just because there's so much attack speed, if you slap some attack speed items onto it, it's going to carry you through the mid game for sure. Mamo is also very weak. Mamo is, like Crustle, just a really weak tank. With tanks, you generally want a 2-cost tank. And Ice Synergy is also pretty bad. Psyduck is also a weak tier. Psyduck is just there for Water Synergy, basically. It's not very strong on its own. Pika is okay. It's bordering between weak and okay, but for now, it's still decent enough in the early game. It's not going to like carry you through the mid game, but early game, it's still playable. Same goes for Venu. Venu, you kind of just want to switch to Sludge Bomb and then call it a day. It's good for Grass Energy as well, and it's going to get you through early game, but again, it drops off later in the game. Wiggly is a decent tank in the early game. It's got a pretty good ability in Sing, but its alt is arguably the most useless in the game. So it's just okay for now. Machamp is weak. Yeah, there's not really any reason to use Machamp right now. It's okay for fighting synergy, but fighting also got nerfed this patch, so Machamp is definitely weaker. Cram with 2-star plus alt plus attack speed items is absolutely amazing. Cram is one of the mons that will actually carry you through the mid game, and you can swap your items on Cram to another attacker once you hit late game. Okay, moving on to 2-cost units. We have Greninja. Greninja is good. Greninja, once you have alts onto it, it's good for diving the enemy backline, sniping enemy carries. Also useful for when you're playing grass comp because you get a secondary clone, and that clone dying will also give you grass stacks. Umbreon is absolutely broken as a mon. It's just good no matter what phase of the game it is. Even late game, the ability to steal shields just makes it incredibly tanky. It's never going to die. If you slap like leftovers and rescue hit on it, it's going to tank for days, and you can run with it even through late game if you like. Zeraora. Zeraora is just, did I put this in okay or weak? I think it's okay. Yeah, so Zeraora is just okay. It's good for attack speed synergy, and it can even tank a bit if you put ult onto it, give it rescue hood, and then switch it to wild charge, just because when it's in wild charge, it can't get hit by opposing attacks. So that lets it artificially tank for a bit. This one's a hard one between good and okay, but I think I put it in okay right now. I put in okay? No, it's good. Yeah, no. Mime is good this patch because, again, Psychic is good this patch, and also Mime ult is pretty strong. Cinderace is a good mon. It just does a lot of damage, has a lot of attack speed, has fire synergy, which is ridiculous for early game, and also attack speed synergy is one of the best in the game right now. Lucario. Lucario is just okay. It used to be good last patch, but this patch, because fighting got nerfed, it's definitely fallen off a little bit. It'll still get you through the early into mid game if you can find a 2-star copy of it and put ult onto it. But you eventually want to move your items to another carry. Blastoise is one of the best tanks in the game, arguably only beaten by Umbreon, although there's probably some circumstances when Blastoise is a better tank. Blastoise has the ability to heal itself with ults, and also it has Rapid Spin, making it just extremely tanky for a while, and it's a really strong frontline. Leafeon. Leafeon is weak. You only take Leafeon for the grass synergy, and then you sacrifice it to get your grass stacks. Not much to say about Leafeon there. A9 is also pretty weak. Icemons are generally weak, with the exception of Glaceon. Lapras is also good too, I guess, but Mamoswine and A9 or Alolan Ninetales are just some of the weakest mons in the game. It just doesn't provide enough utility or do enough damage. Delphox. Delphox is okay. I wouldn't say it's in good tier, although it's probably borderline between good and okay. So the thing with Delphox is that you kind of need it for Psychic synergy. It's also good for Burst, so it has decent synergies, and also has Fire synergy, which is obviously insane. And I guess if you switch it to Flame Charge, you're kind of gambling on luck, because where the Flame Charge hits, it's completely random. So it's just okay for now, not as consistent. Eldegoss. This is all 3-cost mons. Eldegoss is just a good mon in general. Eldegoss can give your team massive shields. It has an ult that makes it so that it's very anti-melee, because when it's in the air, the opposing Pokemon can't attack it, so it stalls for an extremely long period of time, and then when it comes crashing down, not only does it heal, it also knocks up the enemy mons. So Eldegoss is just a fantastic support / utility, and can also tank a bit as well. Also good for grass stacks. Okay, Espeon. Espeon is good this tier. I was debating putting amazing, but I think good is more so where it belongs, because Espeon has a lot of damage once it gets ult with its store power ability, and also it's Psychic, and Psychic is very strong this patch right now. So definitely a good mon. If you can grab it, definitely go for it. Glaceon. Glaceon, one of the most broken mon in the game. With its ults, it just freezes the entire enemy board sometimes, and they can't do anything about it. It has attack speed synergy, which is ridiculous. It's one of the strongest synergies in the game. Yeah, not much to say. Glaceon is just so good in so many situations. You can keep Glaceon even when you're playing other comps, and it'll still provide a ton of value. Intel. Intel is a pretty good mon as well. And I'll just preface by saying that basically all 3-cost mons are pretty strong, with the exception of Zarina. But yeah, Intel can easily snipe the enemy backline, is pretty strong when you're playing against attack speed comps, because it just goes straight for the backline, whereas attack speed tends to play front to back. And with stuff like Burst and Intel, you just snipe the enemy backline. Lapras is a pretty strong tank. Has the ability to heal itself and those around it, and also has the ability to delay for a long time with its ults. So yeah, just a good mon in general, and a good tank. Absol. Absol is also in the good tier. Like all other 3-cost mons, it's pretty strong, with its 2-cost variant. And with Absol, I like Sucker Punch on the 2-cost Absol, but if you ever find a 3-star Absol, I switch back to Night Slash. Urshifu. Urshifu was amazing last patch, but this patch it's going down to just good, because fighting got nerfed, and also the meta has changed so that Urshifu is definitely less strong in the meta now. Because the game is more late game favored, so the game right now just revolves around Mewtwo and Miraidon, and Urshifu has definitely fallen off a bit since last patch. Sylveon also in the good tier. Really good. Ult does a lot of damage, has huge AoE, and also provides pretty good synergies because it has fairy synergy for extra boost to your Zacian, or burst synergy for extra damage on your Intels, your Gengars, and your Miraidons. Sarina. Sarina is the exception to the 3-cost mons because Sarina is a 1/3 cost mon that is pretty bad. It just tends to die a little bit too much, and I don't think its ult is that good either. Like, it's good for stalling 1 mon. It could be used as an Urshifu counter if you really want to, but other than that, Sarina is probably the worst 3-cost mon in the game right now. I don't see it very often in my games. Okay, T-Tar. Did I put T-Tar in? Yeah, T-Tar is just good tier now. T-Tar used to be amazing last patch just because Dark wasn't nerfed, and also Miraidon and Mewtwo weren't as important, or people were still trying to figure out how to integrate the 2 mons into the game. But now that Dark got nerfed and late game revolves around Mewtwo and Miraidon now rather than T-Tar, T-Tar is going down one tier. Okay, and for the other 5-cost spawns, we have Snorlax. Snorlax is just okay. Like, it's a good tank, but it's not going to do enough damage. And it doesn't really slot too well into most comps. Zapdos. Zapdos is... I think I put in good tier. Yeah, Zapdos is good tier because it has a pretty good ult. And even without ult, it has pretty good abilities with... was it Zap Cannon or Charge Beam or whatever? And it has decent synergies as well. Okay, Clefable. Clefable is the one 4-cost mon that is in the amazing tier. Clefable just slots into literally any comp super well. Heals your team, keeps them alive. Clefable is easily the strongest 4-cost mon right now. Gengar, also good tier. Gengar has the ability to one-shot a lot of enemy carries with Sludge Bomb, especially if you find Move Claw. If you're rolling Grass, for example, and you roll a Gengar plus a Move Damage Claw or Quick Claw. So definitely pretty good mon in general. Dragonite. Dragonite is just okay. Usually when you build Dragonite, you get it from rolling Dragonite from Grass. Like, you don't tend to go for Dragonite itself, because you're going for punching, and the only punching mons are Lucario, Decidueye, Sarina, Dragonite. I don't remember if there's anything else, but punching is a little bit hard to build, and Dragonite doesn't do as well compared to the other 4-cost mons. However, with Grass, if you roll Dragonite plus something like a move damage claw or quick claw, you can put that onto Dragonite, give it Hyper Beam, and it'll one-shot a bunch of stuff. Okay, lastly, I don't think we need to talk about Mewtwo and Miraidon. They're just absolutely broken. If you get them late game, go for a 2-star variant, put Alt on them, they slot into any composition, give them your best items, and the meta just revolves around them right now. Not much else to say. Okay, that's my quick tier list. I think it should match everything here. If it doesn't, go with the one here, because this is the most updated one. I also update the best team comps, the recommended moves, best items in slot, for example. And I also stream over at twitch.tv/SilentSheepy every day if you guys want to watch me play some ladder. Okay, thanks for watching.